I am justice! I protect the innocent and those who fear evil! I'm the one who will become the god of a new world that everyone desires!
No one can resist the thrill of a psychological thriller, and when you mix a supernatural element to it, you get the masterpiece known as Death Note. Now you might be thinking how anything can be a psychological thriller when all the problems can be solved by the supernatural being or power, but this is where you'd underestimate the surprise and shock that Death Note provides. This supernatural twist comes with its limitations too though. When you give a justice-driven genius boy the power of inducing death, what could possibly go wrong? Welcome to the TV Regent, and today I'll be talking about the top 10 turning points in Death Note that left everybody shocked. I've picked these points serial-wise because it makes no sense to rank plot points as it'll just be a huge hodgepodge, okay? Let's begin.
I will become the god of this now, Kira. I will hunt you down wherever you're hiding and I will eliminate you. I am justice.
At number 9, it's Ray Penbers' death.
Like Mikami. Farewell, Ray Penber.
Light started off with a seemingly good intention of killing off criminals in the pursuit of making an ideal world. This is something we can all relate to and empathize with, but with great power comes a great deal of madness, as observed in Light's case and not Spider-Man, who had other ideas. The police team don't get in line with Light's actions and have no clue as to how this person's making it happen. This is why Elle and Watari employ Ray Penber, a federal agent from America, to get on the case and track Kira. To draw attention away from himself as a suspect, Light waits for a week to kill Penber. After experimenting with the laws of Death Note, he devises this devious plan of executing Penber without drawing attention to himself. Light's even outsmarted the laws of Death Note that Ryuk wouldn't have thought about doing.
Turn around and you're dead. I am Kira.
At number 8, it's Naomi's death.
If you don't mind my asking, why do you keep checking your watch?
Because I'm Kira.
Ray Penber's fiancée Naomi is devastated and swears to avenge her fiancé's death. She's a former top-notch FBI agent and decides to take matters into her own hands. Light chances upon Naomi on the way to the headquarters and gets to know about her intentions. He thinks that he'd be able to procure her name and kill her off without much trouble, only to know that she's smarter than his tricks. Light tries his best to not let Naomi meet his father, who's heading this investigation. Threatened that Naomi can give important leads to the police, which would unravel Light's intention, he tries to kill her as well. Since Naomi gave him a fake name, Light has to think fast and act even faster. This scene will make you scream.
Then goodbye, Naomi Misora.
At 7, we have the famous scene, I'll take a potato chip and eat.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
This is one of the most famous scenes of Death Note, so famous that it's been the format of many memes. The drama that comes with this simplistic scene of Light eating a potato chip has an underlying evil smirk of his cunningness. Light's still a suspect in Ray Penber's death. Elle instructs his team to install surveillance cameras all around the suspects' homes. Ryuk senses that there's something different and warns Light of the cameras. Light acts cautiously and makes sure he doesn't use his Death Note as freely as he would in private. If he doesn't watch the criminals on the television, how will he execute his plans? If the agency finds out that he's aware of the criminals and he executes them afterward, the suspicion will get even deeper and he'll be caught. Light places a mini television inside a packet of potato chips and pretends to do his homework. Amused with his plan, he declares himself as the god of the new world. We see Light diverging from the path he initially took, and now we're not sure how much we actually support Light. Yet the brilliance of his plan still holds strong even today.
Was anyone who didn't watch the news can't be Kira, right?
Our number 6 moment is Elle meeting Light and revealing himself.
I want to tell you I'm Elle.
While taking his college exams, Light notices an eccentric person behind him. On his graduation day, he realizes that he's sharing the same top position as this person, who's now introduced to the public as Hideki Ryuga. Light feels uneasy being in the same spot as Hideki. This gets amplified when out of nowhere he chats with Light and bluntly says that he is Elle. Elle is trying to gauge Light's reaction to this sudden news as he still suspects that Light is Kira. Now Light's in a tight spot. He can either lose his cool in front of L or kill him. Hideki Ryuga is the name of a pop star, and writing his name on Death Note would manifest in his death. And even if L is Hideki, his sudden death will draw all suspicion to Light and he'll be caught. This scene ramps up the tension and excitement for the thrill-seeking audience. Can't arrest the villain, can't kill the hero.
This strategy acts as a solid defense, and it allows him to confront Kira directly. He can defend and attack. You got me.
At number 5, Light remembers he's Kira after touching the Death Note.
I've won. Exactly as planned.
The only way that Light can erase his name from L's suspicion is by going all out and giving himself to L's test. But the only way he'll be able to do this would be when his memories get erased. Misa Amane is also into his suspicion game, and he has to pull all the plugs to shoo the suspicion away from both Misa and himself. Misa's Shinigami Rem is also a tool for Light in carrying out this plan. Misa also figures as an important part of the plan, hence he has to save the situation to be able to better use them all. He forfeits the ownership to Death Note and devises a plan that would eventually lead him to Death Note again. By touching the Death Note, he'll be able to remember everything. One slip in his plan and everything fails. The moment when Light gets hold of Death Note, unbeknownst of its power and the memories he had with it, he's back in the game. This was one of the biggest risks Light's taken in the series.
It's been a while, Ryuk.
At number 4, Rem kills L and dies afterwards.
Everyone, the Shinigami...
Rem loves Misa and will do anything to protect her, even if it means sacrificing his life. A Shinigami isn't supposed to take another life to protect the owner of the Death Note. That would result in the death of the said Shinigami. Ryuk doesn't have that kind of affection for Light, but Rem has it for Misa. L gets to know about the Death Note and the Shinigamis, and he tries to link everything to the events. In this episode and previous ones, we get a sense of L and Light's potential of becoming best friends. L has no friends, and Light can appreciate the company of someone like L, but as destiny has it, they can't be friends due to their separate motives and ideas of justice. It doesn't complement, but rather contrast from one another. There's a touching moment between L and Light before Rem senses that L's found the link between Misa and the killings. This would mean that Misa would get caught and her life would be in danger. As he loves Misa, he decides to kill L, resulting in his own death. This scene will never fail to shock anyone rooting for L and with sympathy for Rem.
I am the god of the new world.
Our number 3 moment is Light's father's death.
You really aren't Kira. I'm so glad.
Things get even more complicated after L's death. His successors, Nier and Mello, decide to finish the investigation. This is in honor of L, and this leads from chasing suspects to focusing on the power of the Death Note. Soichiro Yagami, Light's father, finds a Death Note after following Misa's, who's disguised as Kira's, instructions. Mr. Yagami then makes an eye deal with Ryuk and tries to hunt down Mello in his facility. But when one makes an eye deal, half of their lifespan is cut short. Mr. Yagami is fatally shot. He's then rushed to the hospital and dies in peace, believing his son isn't Kira. Little did he know that Light has eventually led to his death. The act that Light puts after his father's demise makes us even angrier, and we've almost lost hope that we can win against Light. He doesn't spare anyone who's in his way of becoming the god of the new world.
He got to die believing that his son wasn't Kira.
At number 2, we have Mikami's disbelief in error of his master's plan.
Well, Nier, looks like I win.
There continues to be a chase after L's and Mr. Yagami's death. Light assumes the role of a leader in the investigation team and poses as L to the other teams. There are many people who come to love Kira's style of justice, and one of them is the diligent Mikami, who follows all the rules dogmatically. Light comes to know of Mikami and uses him as his right-hand man in his plans. When Nier foils the whole plan and confronts him about the Death Note and how he's beaten Light's plan, Mikami goes into disbelief. He's restrained and shocked about the revelation. When Light gets shot in the hand by Matsuda and he struggles to take any action, Mikami goes into shock and can't conceive that the god he worshipped wasn't the most powerful after all. He then commits suicide. And finally, at number 1, we have the ending scene. The ending scene doesn't have a shocker, but it concludes the story so well that it deserves a mention. A young and bright student filled with the emotions of bringing justice to the world gets corrupted when he gets the power to kill people. He spares no one who comes in his way, including threatening the life of his mother and sister, to actually getting his father killed for the cause. Romantic interests and friendships don't act as a stopgap to his plans either. He'll use and manipulate everyone to ultimately become the god of the new world, but at what cost? When Light's caught red-handed by Nier and his team, he has no sign of remorse.
We faced the kid who defeated L, and with solid evidence, beat him at his own game.
The only time that Light shows a little sign of remorse is when Matsuda shoots him in the limbs and everywhere to keep him immobile. He shouts in anguish and longs for Misa and Takada. He wants to be consoled in his last hours by the ones who loved him the most. This was the only time he valued their love for him, but it's too late by then. The poetic ending of Ryuk writing Light's name on the Death Note gives the story a full circle.
It was good while it lasted.